Hey, what's up guys? Jake with Legacy 4x4 back again, and today we're finishing up the plasma table. Big news, the table finally works. Well, I mean, most of it works. It cuts, it goes through shapes, it does what it's supposed to do. I still need to do a little fine tuning, but we'll get into that, some details of what I've got to do later on. For now, let me show you guys where we're at. Alright, so you guys can see the current status of the table. I've added and changed a few things as I was kind of fine tuning it. One of the biggest things I did is I went through and I rewired the whole thing. So you can see there's now gray wire inside the rails. So initially I was just using loose stranded wire that I got on Amazon, 22 gauges of it, or 22 gauge wire. I bought a couple hundred feet of it and I was just using that. I decided that that wasn't a very clean solution to my problem, and so I wanted to tidy it all up again. So I bought new stepper motor hookup wire from LinuxCNC. It's a standard size wire. It's a 5-pin shielded wire. You can buy it anywhere. And I was ordering the new Z-axis motor from there as well. So you can kind of see how that looks. So I went through and wired all that. You can see I tied it all in. It kind of pokes out here at the back of the table. Some I used some 1-inch square scrap that I had, and I put that on the back to kind of route the wire through behind the table. It's not a full piece of it. It's just like 3 little 6-inch sections just to give the wire something to route through, kind of clean it up back there. And this a little bit to give more of an offset away from the carriage, so that this was a little bit, so this worked a little better. I went through and I actually put a grommet into both ends of this tube for where the wire runs through it, so it's a little bit cleaner. Alright. I also added a new Z-axis. That other one that I had wasn't working right. I couldn't get all wired up properly, so I added in this one. It's an eBay special. Somebody up in Canada makes them. It's like $300 I think. For this one, this is a 6-inch travel version of it. He makes a smaller one that's like $200 I think. But you can see that there. So this Z-axis is cool because it has a floating head torch right there. You can see how it works. There's a limit switch in the back that it impacts on, and that sends a signal to the controller. And then I'm using the same LinuxCNC stepper motor that I'm using everywhere else. This is a 130 ounce, and then all my big ones are 405 ounce. So this is a smaller stepper motor, but it's only moving the Z-axis. So I also went around and I replugged all of the motors with these standard size 6-pin plugs that I've been using for everything else. That way the motors are replaceable and I don't have to fix any of the wiring. I just have to unplug it and plug in a new one if I have to do that. Alright, moving on over to the control station. So you can see I've got it opened up right now. I was doing some testing with the relay. I didn't change the computer or the power plasma or anything like that. That's still the same. I do have now, get a light. I do have, as you can see in here, the Proma THC is all wired up, sitting right there. That's not going to be its permanent mounting location. There's my power supply, and you can see the whole mess that is my control board in the back there. Alright, and this is a relay for my plasma cutter to turn it on and off, and then there's all the control board. So that's not the final resting place of how those electronics are going to be. I've had to do some testing back and forth again to get the relay to turn on properly, between using different relays and all this other kind of stuff with the board. And so I temporarily had everything seated like that so I could reach it all, and I could play with it, adjust things, and see what was working best. But this computer doesn't have screen capture. I am running LinuxCNC version 2.8 currently. It is the soon-to-be released version of LinuxCNC, and on it I am running the Plasma C configuration specifically. So I have my standard one. This is my Plasma C configuration. It adds this plasma specific chart down here that you can control and access things on. It's got some plasma specific stuff for different configurations. You can run things like that, some specific stuff for running it, extras, things like that. It's sort of still in development / release process right now, but you can get it off the LinuxCNC website if you watch some YouTube videos I'll link to one down in the description for how to install LinuxCNC, and then you'll have to follow through the Plasma C user guide to get it installed. I'm not going to make a video on that, but the user guide's really, the user guide is very in-depth, so if you need to do that, you can just use a user guide for that. Alright, so moving forward, what has to get done right now? I'm fine-tuning, or I'm in the fine-tuning stage of this. I'm making my material chart and tool set list inside Plasma C. I'm fine-tuning my cut so I can get the right the torch height correct, so I can get the speed and all that kind of stuff right. So that's what I'm working on currently. There's also a few things I do need to change on this. This arm that's back here, this is not going to work anymore. I didn't think about when I did it, and now unfortunately I'm going to have to cut it out, but it blocks part of the gantry's movement backwards like that. But this rail that the track here rests on impacts that, and I lose about 8 inches of table space back here. So I'm going to have to cut that out, and I'm going to relocate that over to the side. Down inside the table, obviously you need to clean up all of this stuff on the control table. I just need to tidy up the wiring, button it all back up, and zip the top back onto it and in place so I can close this all up. So I got to do that. A few small things that have to get done. So I'm not ready to start going into production for signs and things like that yet because my tolerances aren't there. But as I fine tune, I'll eventually get to that point. Hopefully in a week or so I can start cutting signs. So, alright. So I've got one more video that's going to come out about this plasma table for now, and that's going to be like an overview video. I'm going to cover the bill of materials, the cost, and then my thoughts on building or buying your own plasma table. Hopefully that'll come out here pretty shortly, maybe next week after I post this video. That'll go over some details, and it'll cover like upgrades and things that I'm already thinking about doing with this one. So stick around for that. Alright, that's it for now guys, but thanks for watching. Be sure to stick around. Like I said, I'll have that overview video out next week, and I'll hopefully have some more updates done to this table so you can see it in action, fully cutting, maybe doing some sign work and some other things that I want to get done with time for the next video. So thanks for watching guys, take care.